Welcome in, everybody. I am Scalz. Tonight, I am joined by the man, Phil the Future, as one of our normal co hosts. As announced last week, Jax is going to be taking a little bit of a hiatus from this show. So, we are bringing in one of the special guests that will be rotating in, week out, Metal Mike. How are we doing tonight, man?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Excited because tonight was the first night that I watched NXT in a very, very long time. So I consider myself new to NXT because I know there's a whole new crop of talent that I have not seen yet.
Yep. I mean, knowing that this is like your first time in, all we got to say now is welcome to the ride. You're going to have fun.
Shadow coming at us first from X. Then we got coming at first from on Twitch. Mikey P's jealous of Trick. He wanted to be the one kissing Last Legend. We will touch base. We will talk about that later on.
That was awesome.
And Shadow is like, "Boo, Phil is here." So typical Shadow. Trying to start a little drama once we get going. It's nothing wrong with that, though. We like it. So, what did we think of this show tonight? Like, start to finish, this was a fucking banging of an episode.
Facts. It's very rare nowadays that like NXT has like a bad show. Like everything is just everything is just working in its favor. Like the flow of what's being what matches and segments are being done one after another, just the matches overall, and especially like a majority of the mic work is there.
What's going on, Will? How we doing tonight? And there he is, the Ginger Ninja's in the chat. Shadow still saying wrestling sucks and that there's no drama unless they're at hockey rinks. Facts. So Mike,
yeah,
you haven't watched NXT in a long time, you said.
Correct. It's been a long time.
What was your first impression of how the show was?
So as I said to you when we started watching it tonight, I said I'm probably going to be asking a lot of questions because obviously there's a whole new crop of talent that I don't know. Now, there are some talent that I do know, like a Roxanne Perez. I know who Dijak is. I obviously know who Sean Spears is. But there was talent there that I didn't know who they were. Even going into the first match, I knew who the LWO was, but I didn't know who OTM was. And you very clearly explained to me who they were. And to kick this show off, they immediately had me hooked. And that was when I tried watching it back when it was 2.0. That was the issue I was having. Like I would start watching it, and the first 15 minutes, I usually give a show 15 minutes because that's normally the hook point. It wasn't getting me. I couldn't talk bad about it though because I would hear such good things about it. And I would never talk bad about a show that I'm not watching. That would just be wrong of me as a fan. And tonight's experience was just from the start had me hooked. I was immediately invested. Immediately.
So 2.0 was not everybody's cup of tea. I will say that. A lot of people didn't like the color scheme of it. A lot of people didn't like the focus on going back to developmental. And it's what NXT needed to happen. It was like a reset of sort. And now just look at the talent that is coming from NXT. And we're going to talk about a bunch of them tonight that became NXT because of 2.0. So if there was no 2.0, we wouldn't be where we are now with this NXT.
Very
will
true.
it ever be at the level of the black and gold NXT? Probably not. But we're not far away from it.
And that was the last show, and I remember the last actual NXT show I watched, and that was when it was still black and gold. The last one I watched was the first award show they did during the pandemic, and Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano were still feuding. They actually won Feud of the Year. That was the last NXT show I watched. So we're talking 3.5 years ago.
Yeah, you missed a lot.
I missed a whole lot. That's why
There's no way I'm catching you up in 45 minutes.
And that's fine, because tonight was a great starting point. Like, tonight was a really good starting point. It was.
So since you brought the match up, let's talk about the tag team match to get into the triple threat that will take place at NXT the week before Stand and Deliver. This saw LWO versus OTM. What was your thoughts on this match?
It was a great match to start. A lot of good action. Again, I knew who LWO was. LWO was. OTM, didn't know who they were too much, and that's why I asked, like, who would you compare them to, so I know what I'm watching. But I kind of gave a little bit of an assessment on who they reminded me of. I kind of don't want to say, because I feel like people would come at me for it. But overall, just a really good match, great entertaining, great way to kick the night off. And it doesn't surprise me that LWO won, because of the fact that I know them more than OTM. If I would know who OTM was, then I probably would be down the middle.
OTM is still fairly green though, so I mean, I wouldn't be surprised that you wouldn't really know who they were, but like, I mean, they're okay for what they're doing. They're not the best, but I mean, they're okay.
I was surprised, actually, that OTM lost. I really thought that they would have been the ones to win, because they are actually on NXT. Like, that's the one thing that I didn't like about this, is that LWO was down there. If you were going to do that, you could, like, I don't know. I would have put LWO versus a different team, but I would have liked to see an OTM go, because they're the ones that need it more than LWO.
That makes sense.
Anything else you want to talk about on this match before I move on?
I want to ask Phil real quick. Since I asked you, I want to get his assessment. If you had to compare OTM to a tag team, who would it be? Like, who would you compare them to? As far as somebody from like the past, or even for somebody that's still like a team that's still wrestling.
You know, it's fun. It's fun. It's kind of funny you bring that up, because like I've kind of said that they kind of seem like especially with, like, you know, the whole kind of like the little Titantron that's in the back, like when they make their entrance. It's like a GTA version of Crime Time.
Okay, so as I said, I feel like I was going to get attacked on this. That's who they reminded me of. That's who they reminded me of. My first.
Not wrong.
Yeah. And look, Mikey P agrees with you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm probably going to get slack for saying this. Not every all black tag team needs to remind you of Crime Time.
Of course. Like, what?
But that's because that's typically the way everybody goes. The difference here, though, is these two are actually built like how Crime Time was. This I can actually see the comparison, where others I cannot.
And that was my first visual too. Is like they're built like them.
No, shush, Shadow. After that match, we went into the back, and there was Duke Hudson and Andre Chase with Thea Hale. They were trying to figure out who her tag team partner was. Kalani Jordan answers the call. She's going to be her tag team. Shadow? After that, we go to the family having dinner at the restaurant, and this was a great segment. They start off with um, the Don asking the new person that was added to the family if he took care of what he needed to take care of. He goes, I took care of that thing and I took care of the other thing. So he's already overstepping what he's being asked of him.
Mhm.
I like the. Oh, go ahead, Phil.
No, Jax just asked in the comments, how was NXT tonight? Jax, tonight was a freaking banger. Great show.
After that, you had Stax, Riz, and the Don going back and forth, talking about how great everything is. And then you have Ilya Dragunov just show up out of nowhere and interrupt them in dinner.
Ilya Dragunov is on par with Cody Rhodes when it comes to dressing sharp. He comes in for business. Always comes in with a fresh new suit. Like, yo, like this guy, we got this thing going.
So they go on. The Don sends everybody away. He sits down with Ilya. They talk about it. Ilya's like, I have respect for you, everything. He said he's coming for the title. He's going to win the title. Ilya says that he doesn't give things up easily, so he'll do whatever he can to keep it. And then you have the Don call in Stax, and I can't think of the other guy's name.
Luca Crucifino.
Luca. He calls in them two, and they essentially kidnap Ilya and throw him in the back of their car in the trunk.
It's like
Mike over here is freaking out. Like, what the hell is happening? Like, he was going nuts. Like, am I really seeing this happen on NXT? Yeah. I said, it's the mob. Like, they're going to kidnap somebody. I said, you're lucky. And I said, you're lucky they didn't put cement boots on him first. Like,
facts, like shades of Legado del Fantasma.
So they drive away. We go to commercial. We come back. And then they have Roxanne coming out to the ring to talk about everything that's happened to her within the last year. Anybody want to touch on what happened in this segment?
So I know who Roxanne is. And the last time I seen her, she was a babyface. And now she's a heel. And I'm loving it. I'm a huge fan of heel work when it's done. Like, I love heel work. We all do. Like, we all have our heels that we like. And just seeing her as a heel, it works so perfectly. Like, it fits her. And I even asked you, Scalz, I was like, hold on, she's a heel now? And I popped immediately.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately. And I loved it from the first word. The first word of her promo.
Yeah, Mikey, I agree with you. I'm liking this new Roxanne. We're not used to it because she was a face for so long.
Yeah.
I don't like the timing of it because I feel like this could have led to her and Jade getting back together. Ooh. And the fact that Jade is injured, it just doesn't sit right with me that this happened now. So I'm hoping that this goes on for a while and we get that, because that would be a missed opportunity for me if that doesn't happen.
That would honestly be something great. I mean, besides, obviously, since like last time Cora and Roxanne were together, Cora was a heel, Roxanne was still the face, and I mean, it's funny, kind of like also when you look back on social media where like you see Cora and Roxanne with CM Punk saying it's like, I'm here with Dad and like that annoying little sister, but then again, like you could see it where you know, now that Roxanne's a heel, it's like we're sisters again. You know, I don't know. Like it'd be cool.
But we have Roxanne going on how she was able to. She did all this work and she didn't get anything from it. She says that she keeps getting skipped over. Instead of giving Perez a shot, Valkyria has decided to go after the tag titles. So Perez calls out Ava, comes out to the ring, wants her to award the title because Valkyria can't defend him right now. Out comes Tatum Paxley and tries to get at Perez. And this is funny because earlier in her promo, she called Tatum Valkyria's weirdo friend. Like, she didn't even mention her by name. So it's like she's there. Anytime they talk about Valkyria, Tatum is there. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen with this. Are we going to get Tatum defending the title versus Perez in place of Valkyria if they went with that route? Like, is that something you think could happen?
Possibly, but like I just want to bring up what Ava said. You know, Roxanne's like, you know, this is the title that I, you know, never lost and all that. And then, but then Ava's out and she's like, well, Roxanne, when you think about it, you still held the title when you were injured, but it was only until we figured out the severity of your injuries that we vacated the title off of you.
So we have to see how long she's going to be injured for, I guess, before they do anything. Hoping it's not too long because I would like to see them go against each other at Stand and Deliver. After that, we had Lexus King versus Mr. Stone.
Yo, seeing Mr. Stone wrestle again was amazing. Like, it was giving me Robbie E vibes again.
That one chop by Lexus King, though, like that.
Oh, yeah.
That one, like I felt that. Like that was just so loud. It reminded me of a Gunther chop,
Right.
The way that it sounded. So Lexus King wins this match. After the match, King tries to attack Stone again. This is when Wagner finally comes out, and then Wagner carries Stone backstage. They have a little interview with Obafemi in the back, talking about his match that's coming up next. And then Dijak interrupts him. So I am all for Dijak going for the North American Championship. I actually would be okay with him taking it off Obafemi with how Dijak has been lately. I feel like he is one of the top stars right now in NXT and on Twitter because he is insane on Twitter.
That's that spot right there is the only thing that really made me feel like I didn't miss anything, because the last time I seen him on screen on NXT was him going after the NXT North American title when Keith Lee was holding it. So that was the only thing that made me feel like, okay, I didn't miss anything, because that's the last time I seen him on NXT. But Obafemi, I'll say this guy, even looking at a picture of him a few weeks ago, because he was mentioned during one of the shows. So I quickly Googled to see who he was, and I was like, this is a big dude. Like, he's a big dude. And then seeing him on my screen, I was like, holy crap. This is a big... He instantly got my fandom. He did. I am a fan of Obafemi.
So let's talk about the North American Championship match. That was him versus Brooks Jensen. Phil, what'd you think of this match?
The NXT North American title match. Well, you can't forget that Brooks tried jumping Obafemi in the the Performance Center parking lot, which, by the way, Mike, is the most dangerous area in WWE, the NXT parking lot. Yeah, never know tomfoolery is about to happen there.
The women's locker room is taking up getting pretty close to that.
That's true. But then again, Roderick Strong got fucked up in that lot. But that's neither here nor there. The match itself was really good. I mean, Brooks Jensen definitely trying to talk a big game, but you like Obafemi, like this guy is pretty green, but yet he already has almost the entirety of NXT behind his back. He is a monster of a champion. I completely enjoyed it. Obafemi retaining was the correct choice. I'm just excited who he's gonna be facing down the road. Like this guy is something great.
I mean, you saying Obafemi's green, like he didn't give me that feeling. He gave me the feeling that he knew what he was doing.
Right.
He did.
Yeah.
Jax. Yeah. I guess you weren't there when I was watching Revolution then, because I enjoyed the hell out of that show.
I was in the presence of Scalz in the AEW show.
Yeah, the worst pay-per-view they've ever put on. We happened to be at it, so they had one chance to impress me, and I got that shit.
Wow.
So I was there for World's End.
Oh, okay.
I was sitting right next to him.
Yeah, like that was my first AEW experience.
Mine too.
How does someone bounce back from that? Yeah, exactly. You're at a loss for words. That never happens.
I enjoyed the show. I had a good time. I enjoyed the show. Was I upset with what Scalz is getting to with being upset about? Yeah, I was. But it didn't ruin the whole show for me. It
ruined the entire show for me. It was the stupidest thing to do.
Would it be what is it? Me trying to get over on you guys for the fact that my first AEW experience was the first ever Forbidden Door pay-per-view?
I mean, Shadow's first ever experience was Forbidden Door 2. So
that's fair.
Scalz, this is just them bragging.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
that's exactly what it is. You and me go to the shit end of the stick. They get top tier pay-per-views.
I'm sure
they could have had better was if they were at fucking Wembley.
I'm sure at some point we'll get to redeem ourselves. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there are talks of Arthur Ashe getting a pay-per-view, so
I'll go.
That might be a way to do it.
I mean, they can always bring Double or Nothing to Atlantic City. Just saying, because it is a casino.
No, you don't want to do it there. You're not going to get a lot of people. There's no place there to get.
I'm just.
It would have to go. It would have to be in the convention center, and they would have to build a stadium. You're not going to get more than 4,000 people in there. It's a waste.
They get more than 4,000 in the convention. I've seen the show at the convention place already.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Arthur Ashe because I was hearing things from like AEW that Tony Khan was planning on making Grand Slam into more of a pay-per-view like event. Honestly, I don't think that's a bad idea.
Arthur Ashe can hold about 20,000. So
there you go.
Shadow's currently taking a Dynamite. If you get his drift.
I do.
No.
I will say at least I got to see Sting wrestle one last time before he retired, though. So I was very happy with that. That was the highlight of the night. All right. Back to what we are here to talk about, and that is NXT. After this match, we go back to the Dawn with Dragunov, and now they're at a bridge. And they're talking. D'Angelo reminds Dragunov that he could snap his fingers at the end. He could essentially end Dragunov. Dragunov dares D'Angelo to do it. D'Angelo laughs and says that he'll eventually do it. D'Angelo looks confused because why is he not doing it? Like, why is he giving up? D'Angelo tells Dragunov to enjoy the walk home. So he leaves him stranded on the bridge. Kind of fitting. Kind of reminding me of when Austin threw the belt off the bridge. I feel
Oh
like it.
yeah,
I feel like it was the same bridge. Honestly, it looked like it was.
yeah.
And I know that's so many years later, but it kind of reminded me of that setting.
Well, that's why I said I have a small feeling they're going to throw him off this bridge. I had that small, and that's what it took me back to was Rock Austin. My question is though, is
Jesus
where the
Christ,
hell
Shadow.
did the NXT title belt come from? Is what I'm still trying to figure out. Did they
Yeah,
grab it on the way
I
out?
thought they left it at the arena at the restaurant. I didn't
Well, I'm just like,
realize that they picked it up. So
yeah, I'm just like, what? Like, you left the title there. What are you doing? Like,
I mean, they didn't show it on the table, so he could have grabbed it as he was being dragged away. That's my only thought is that he grabbed it as he was taken.
Yeah.
He probably thought he could use it as a weapon. So like that's my only thinking on it.
fair.
But he got the belt handed to him as he came out of the trunk.
Right.
The
So they
Oh,
as they threw him in, they probably as they threw him in there, they could have grabbed it. All right, Shadow. Enough. Shadow with all these metaphors tonight.
God.
After this, we had Ariana Grace versus Gigi Dolan. If Dolan loses, she has to allow Grace to mentor her. Shadow is Jax is just watching the show as we now see. He is excited for everything going on. I'm sure he'll finally catch up to us at some point. This was a weird match.
Yo, I completely missed this match because I was upstairs like taking out trash. So I'm like, now that I remember that this happened this week, I am so fucked.
Mike, what was your first impression on Ariana Grace? Because you had no idea who she was, and I said to her, to you, I said, "Who does she remind you of?" And that is all I said.
Yeah. I mean, when she first came out, and you asked me who does she like, who does she remind me of, and I was like, if she would just stop spinning and I can get a good look at who she is, then I can get a good perspective. And once she stopped, and I seen like the smile, I was like, isn't that Santino's daughter? And you were just
Correct.
you were like, yes. And you were a couple seconds ahead of me because I rewound to watch a commercial about the Hall of Fame. And the big part though was the run on the outside. Was the huge reminder of like, okay, yeah, that's Santino's daughter.
When she was running on the outside, it reminded me so much of Santino.
Mhm.
Like with the way he was running, like
Yeah. His arms.
and and when he caught up to that part, he goes, "Oh my God, you are right."
Yeah.
And it was so funny because I wanted him to think of who it was before we told him. So I'm glad he was able to figure it out. This match, it, I think this is the first time in history there has ever been
Yes.
a disqualification from a low blow
Yes.
on a female.
31 years of watching wrestling. 31 years going on 32, and I've never seen a women's match end on a low blow. Never.
I'm not upset with it. I just don't like the fact because now Gigi lost, and I'm very curious as to how what's going to happen with Grace mentoring her. That's what I'm concerned about because Gigi Dolan is great, but she does need something to change. So hopefully this works out for her, and she becomes the wrestler that everybody knows that she could be. Phil, any thoughts on this? Is he asleep?
I don't know.
I'm here.
I said, do you have any thoughts on it? I didn't know if you heard me.
I
or not.
don't know because I literally did not see this match.
Oh,
I
you
was
didn't see the
taking out
match?
trash.
Oh,
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, what do you think? Like, what do you think could happen from it? You don't need to see the match to have an opinion on how
Oh
on
my
what's going to happen to
gosh.
Gigi.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how Gigi survives after this, to be honest. Like she like with or the Ariana Grace with this whole Ariana Grace, I'm gonna teach you how to be a true lady. I'm like, oh my god, she's gonna turn her into like some 70s hipster. Like, what the fuck? Like like because I just don't know. Like it just doesn't see like with this whole Ariana Grace mentoring her about this whole piece, and it's like we can solve problems other than violence. I'm just like, if they do this to Gigi, or like I feel like her character could be ruined because she was all like the way she comes out, the way that she always comes out to the ring. She seems like one of those very big anti-establishment, like I mean punk, like obviously punk types, but I don't see her as being somebody promoting the piece. Like I just don't know how it's gonna work. I'll have to wait till next week, but I mean I'm pretty sure they're gonna do something right with her.
so I have a question
Mhm.
because
Okay.
I've only seen Gigi Dolan a few times here and there, like on the main, like she's competed like in the Royal Rumble and stuff. But I've heard people compare her to. Now, I'm not saying I did. I heard people compare her to like the second version of Becky Lynch, like steampunk, punk.
Oh, Irish Last Kicker, Becky.
Yeah, like I've heard that as far as people comparing her to.
I don't see it.
Maybe like kind of close, but not really.
I don't see it at all.
Not entirely.
Okay.
I mean, some people could see it. I just don't.
I mean, because I didn't see it tonight. I didn't. I seen her being pretty much. I kind of got the vibe that she was being her own self, like her own character. I wasn't seeing a comparison to a Becky Lynch. So I really couldn't agree to the people saying like this is the comparison. I couldn't. I seen
My
her
computer
being her
doesn't
own
see it either. So,
Yeah.
after this match, after that, we had the next women's match, and this was supposed to be Thea Hale and Kalani Jordan versus Kiana James and Izzy Dane. So, Kiana James and Izzy Dane make their entrance first. Out comes Thea Hale, and then Kalani Jordan is supposed to come out, but they go backstage, and Kalani Jordan is late. So Thea hasn't come out yet. Kalani Jordan is laid out. Thea Hale's back there going crazy. She comes running out to the ring. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't have a partner now. And all of a sudden it turns into a 2-on-1 handicap match. But before the match can begin, Fallon Henley's music hit. And Henley comes out, and now it's become a tag team match again.
Yeehaw, bitch.
Great start to the match. You had good action going back and forth from both teams. Halfway through the match, you had JC Jane and
Jasmine.
I can never remember her name. Jasmine come out. They cause Thea Hale and Fallon Henley to lose because JC saves Fallon from getting hit, but then in turn, Thea gets hit. And it ends up into the final submission when when James hits the bank drop on Hale for the win. And then we have a segment after that with Thea Hale getting on the mic.
Yeah, this for me was. I was actually excited. I was actually excited about the entire result. At first, I thought it was just Thea Hale I thought it was just going to be just a thing about Thea Hale just crying over whatever, but she started speaking truth. Ever since JC decided that it would be a good thing of hers to do the whole calendar thing and all that. I feel like she's letting this go to her head, and now she's starting to act like a cast member from Mean Girls now. And Thea's still starting to see things the way that they should be now. And it's like, all I was trying to do is be like you because I thought you were a friend. But now that I'm seeing you like this, I don't want to be like you anymore. The real Thea Hale is back, and she did exactly what she used to do, doing sprints around the ring, just boom, boom, boom. You like, it's good to see her back like this. Oh my god.
Riley Osborne loves the fact that she's back because this is the version he likes from her. So we'll see what happens with them now.
Oh my god.
This led into the backstage segment with Riley and the no quarter catch crew, who was talking about Riley saying he can beat any one of them for the Heritage Cup Championship. Then you had Axiom and Nathan Frazier come over, and they started talking about the tag match that they have next week with two of the members from the No Quarter Catch crew to get into the triple threat.
Right. There was one thing that was said during that promo. I
was hoping you caught it because I was very excited when they said it.
Like, literally, Charlie Dempsey saying, like, you can't even come close to catching this title. It's like, it's funny. You know, you say you're from England, but you live in Atlanta? I'm like, whoa.
Oh, so that's not even what I was referring to.
Ish like that.
I was even referring to it. Axiom saying, so there's 4 of you, there's 3 of us, but I'm pretty close with somebody. I'm pretty close with the person that was the first ever winner of that trophy.
Oh, that sneaky son of a gun. That is not slick.
If most people don't know who Axiom actually is,
he's a kid.
He was from NXT UK. He was the first person to ever hold the Heritage Cup A-Kid. So it was a little throwback to his old character, which was great how they did it.
And that was my thing for about 10 minutes. With the women's tag match and then the promo afterwards and then the backstage segment, that was about a good 15 minutes of people I've never seen before. I've heard names, but never seen before. Just overall impressed me.
Well, that's how you learn.
So yeah, Mike, does it kind of shock you now that when you saw Charlie Dempsey and the people say, "Yo, Charlie Dempsey is actually William Regal's son," and now that you see him, do you see that in him or like?
So, I mean, here's the thing: is I'd probably have to go back and look at him again to get a real look to really compare. And again, I'm gonna be watching NXT moving forward, so I'll be able to make that comparison in the future.
Okay, nice.
All right, so hold on, let me pull up this picture.
Okay,
because this picture,
real quick,
is probably gonna make you realize it.
Real quick, Scalz, while you're doing that though, I'm gonna say this. One thing that NXT really impressed me on tonight overall was the involvement of the women. I'm very big on women's wrestling. I am, and that's one thing I always look at when it comes to a show. And oh my gosh, stop me in my tracks, sir. Yes, I can see it.
You could definitely see it in this picture.
Yes. Yeah.
I think it's in the face.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Yeah, it is. But real quick though, just the involvement of women's wrestling. Again, everybody knows that I'm very big on women's wrestling. The involvement of the women's division was just very impressive to me. I was very happy with that tonight. I was very happy.
So Cam coming in hot, joining the show a little bit late. NXT was like a C plus tonight. Whew, you're a little harsh tonight, Cam. Because if I'm grading it, I was gonna say tonight's probably about an A minus with the way everything went. There was constant stuff going on. It was consistent. There was everything going on, like something for everybody tonight. After the segment, we end up having Ridge Holland versus Shawn Spears. No, I'm not saying you. It's your opinion what you thought it was. I don't agree with you that it was a C plus. It's okay to disagree. No one's gonna get mad at you, Cam. We had the chairman, Shawn Spears versus Ridge Holland. And this was a banger of a match.
I was excited to see Shawn Spears back in action. It's been a while since we've seen him in the ring at all. I mean, he was gone. Even being in AEW, he was gone for a while. I know why he was gone. But now seeing him in NXT and getting to carry over to be Shawn Spears, and he didn't have to come back as Ty Dillinger, and he's the chairman. Like, I love that character. I agree with you, Scalz. This was the match of the night. This was a very, very good match. And I'm excited to see what they do with Shawn Spears moving forward.
You had Ridge show a side of him that you're not used to seeing. He essentially threw Spears through the table. He got some pretty good distance on him. Then they get back in the ring. Spears, Holland went to go use the chair. The ref took it away. Spears ended up doing a C4 right into the chair. And then he got the pin for the 1-2-3 victory. What was your thought?
I was going to say, and the announcer saved his candy bowl. I'll just throw that out there.
Vic Joseph and his candy. Yep.
Yeah.
Phil, what's your thoughts on this match?
My thoughts, pretty solid overall. Damn. I had it and then I left it. So
okay, it'll come back to you.
Yeah, it'll come back.
After this match, we get to the main event segment of the evening, which is Trick Williams coming back in the ring and cutting a promo. You just thought of it?
Yeah, I remember now. It was the Ridge and Shawn Spears. I actually enjoyed it, and I mean, I don't know if anyone said this before, but I'm gonna be someone who's gonna say it again. Shawn Spears' chops are underrated. Those things sting.
Yeah, there was some good chops tonight on the show.
100%.
Ridge Holland's chest immediately just beat red. Didn't hesitate, just beat red.
Cam, absolutely. He's a I don't know. I don't know what the word is to describe. He is a psychopath, but he's a I don't know. He's a calculated psychopath.
But in the main event, Trick Williams got on a mic. He says he finally gets to air his frustrations. He says that he is pissed off. Family means everything to him. He treated Mello like he was family. He did everything for him. The Trick Mello gang. When everybody was telling him that you need to be careful, Mello's not happy for your success, a.k.a. John Cena. A couple other wrestlers told him that Mello was hating on him. He went and confronted Mello about it, and Mello lied to his face. So this is where the whole downfall started. Hayes lied about attacking him. He lied about being his brother. Williams says that him and Mello are not on the same level. And Mello said this, and Hayes thinks he's actually correct because Mello couldn't be on Williams' level, even if he was standing on a step stool with a ludicrous throw. And I was like, damn. And this segment, it was just so good. And then it got he challenged Mello to a match of Stand and Deliver, which is what I've been saying for months. This is where it was going to culminate. And then we had the Metaphor come out and interrupt Trick. And this is where it got a little weird. I am glad that Noam Dar is not in a comatose state after losing the Heritage Cup.
Thank God
Because
God he didn't turn into Linda McMahon.
The last time he didn't know how to speak, he didn't know how to do anything. He just laid there. They go back and forth. Dar says he wants Trick's heat. He can't think of a way to do it besides having a match with him. So they're setting up a match for next week, Trick versus Noam Dar. And then a little brawl starts. And everything's going on mellow. Trick is taking care of business, running the ring. Lash Legend tries to smack him. He blocks it. And next thing you know, Lash and Trick are in the ring kissing.
But he had the Riz though. She went for the punch, grabs it. Like that is Riz 101 automatically.
And she was flustered. Like she didn't know what to do. So I'm curious to see if she's going to be leaving Metaphor in the future, going off on her own and being Trick's Mellow.
So my first question was what happened to Noam Dar, because the last time I seen him, he was just, and I'm sure he's still a hell of a talent in ring, but just who he was when I last seen him, I was a fan of him. I was.
He's still a great talent in ring, so.
And I'm excited to see him in ring again. Like I am, because I was, like I said, I was a fan of him. But like what you said about Lash, you kind of seen the signs a little bit when she was walking out. Like she was hesitating to walk out with the group. Like, is she gonna go with Trick in the future? I got that slight feeling we might see that.
Cam, I think that's what we're getting to with Noam Dar, though, with what started tonight.
Yeah.
I think that's how you're going to get back to him. And I think Metaphor is eventually going to break up. And you could see the cracks in it tonight with Lash and Trick. But I think we're eventually going to get Supernova Noam Dar back. In regards to your previous comment about what happened in a Gigi Dolan match, it ended with the DQ of the low blow. But it did it because that means Gigi lost, and now she has to be coached by Ariana Grace. So I think her intention was to make sure Grace got hurt, not realizing that the ref saw it, and she cost herself the match. So I'm curious to see where that goes. After everything happened, Trick was standing tall in the ring, and NXT went off the air. Overall, great show. I enjoyed it from the beginning to end. Lots of stuff happening. What was your final thoughts on the show tonight?
Final thoughts. Again, very, very great show overall. I felt like it had a nice even flow. It had a nice even flow to it. The just like the up, the down, the up, the down. I thought I wish I had gotten to watch the Ariana Grace Gigi Dolan match, because I just really would have wanted to watch that match just to see what the heck was going to happen. But too bad for me. The Ridge versus Shawn Spears match, I enjoyed that one. All it takes is one C4 and your Dunskies. And then again, Trick Williams graduated college with a master's degree in rheology. Because, damn,
I agree, Cam. The Good Bros are going to win that tag, the little 3 match, and then head into the triple threat on the NXT before Stand and Deliver to go to Stand and Deliver to challenge for the titles. And that's where I think we see the debut of Tum Tonga at Stand and Deliver, helping them out, winning the titles, and they reform the original Bullet Club on
yes,
in WWE.
My final assessment on the show tonight. I'm in between you and Cam as far as your grading. The reason being is because I'm introduced to new characters. I still have to learn who some of these characters are and what they're about. The action to promo, like
Ratio.
ratio. That's the word I was looking.
Don't get ratio by Dijak on Twitter though. Just be careful. He hands them out all the time.
Okay. Thank you. But the action to promo ratio was evened out. It was fair. It was a comfortable leveling. Like it I wasn't too overwhelmed by the promoing. I wasn't overwhelmed by the action. I probably would have to give this, because of not knowing a lot of these people yet and knowing what they're about, I would have to give the show in between what you and Cam gave, and I'd have to say around a B-. And that's only because of me learning new things tonight.
You will eventually see that NXT is the best weekly show on TV. Better than AW, better than most weeks for Raw or SmackDown. You'll see it's the most consistent one.
I'm excited to be a part of it.
So let's get on set and close out this tab. Mike, where can we find you?
All across the socials, X, TikTok, Instagram. I'm gonna get my Twitch channel up and going soon, but Metal Mike 714 all across the socials. You can find me. And as far as on the network here, I'm gonna just keep this short and sweet. Next time I'm gonna be on the network is tomorrow night for a special edition of Rivet City Red Zone, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, talking about everything that's been going on with NFL free agency. And then later on tomorrow night, right after AEW Dynamite, you can catch me on the Boom with Cam and Phil at 10:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as we react to AEW Dynamite. And also, I write Philadelphia Eagles content for Last Word on Sports. My latest article got published. You can check it out. It is part 1 of a 2-part article on who I think the Eagles can sign from free agency. And the link is on my link tree. Just look up Metal Mike 714 on Linktree.
Phil?
Alrighty then. So for those of y'all who have stayed around to the end and still love seeing this beautiful face grace your screen, check me out on Twitter, IG, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, whole 9 yards. You can find me every week here on Tuesday for NXT on Tap, and whenever Boss Bitch Trivia, the Boss Bitch Trivia Hour is starting up again, you'll see me there too, as I am your reigning and defending Boss Bitch Trivia champion, and am willing to defend my title against any and all up and coming opponents.
I'm sorry, Will. I meant this. I should have said no free shoutouts.
I am Scalz. You can find me here on Off the Top Media on both Twitch and YouTube, as well as Off the Top Media _ on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. I am the host for NXT on Tap every Tuesday. I am also the host for Friday Night Review every Friday, which goes on right after SmackDown. Thank you for the bits.
Thank you for the biddies, new to this world.
In addition, we do have our Patreon that is going on right now. It is 3 different tiers that we offer. The first tier is our $2 tier. It gets you the Delicious as Fuck cookbook. It gets you all of our shows ad free. The next tier up is our $5 tier. It gets everything that's going on from the $2 tier. Plus, you get exclusive episodes. You'll be able to see the after parties that are happening on some of the shows. And then you have the $10 tier where you can get everything else that's included, as well as the watch along with Phil and Jax as they do the different shows from like similar things that they do on Nerdy News. We'll just put in the chat that they will be releasing a new recipe tomorrow for collard greens. So if you love those, make sure you go sign up to Patreon. Link is scrolling across the bottom. I'll throw it in the chat as well for anybody that is here and wants to do it. Also, in the $10 tier, if you do subscribe to that, you actually get a special role in the Discord, and it sends you into the VIP lounge where you can sit and chat with all the hosts that are on the network. Like I said, I am Scalz. I want to thank everybody for coming out this evening, and we'll see you again soon. Have a great night, guys.